Spoilers and offensive content to come.
This is the Carlos and Dave Anime Rave.
Yeah, we are. What are we?
Watching the 2017 DuckTales show.
Yes, we are the best anime review and reaction show on the internet. And a slight errata. Last DuckTales review, I mentioned we watched episodes 1 and 2. I was mistaken. That whole thing counts as episode 1. We are about to watch episodes 2 through 5. So, a bit of a disclaimer. I have seen episode 2 already. I have not seen the other 3.
Well, let's jump right in and enjoy this so far amazing show. Okay.
How did they take the worst character in the original DuckTales and make her the best character in the new one? Like, I don't understand.
I know, what is awesome, if Scrooge is mad just because of Donald, even I'm gonna call foul.
Good pun.
Thank you.
I just love how, like, all of my gripes with the old DuckTales cartoon are not only completely fixed, but they've also injected some Gravity Falls in it.
Mm-hmm.
This show's so good. And in that old cartoon, the only real characters were, like, Scrooge and Launchpad, really.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie were kind of one character in 3 bodies.
Yeah, Webby was a terrible character.
Webby was the animal tamer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what her whole character was.
Pretty much.
If something was violent towards everybody else, Webby would tame it in a heartbeat.
And here we have fully realized characters. It's almost un-DuckTales-like.
Wow, she's the most annoying bus patron I can think of.
I've seen some annoying people on the bus, and Webigail does not even come close. There's a reason I avoid public transit at all costs.
Seriously?
Yeah. Seriously. Like, when we were on the train, and the one lady was hairspraying her hair in the packed train.
God.
I do not promote violence against women. However, in that case,
you wanted to throat punch her.
I kind of wanted to drop kick her throat. Yes.
Watch it. Oh, she really doesn't like Donald. She's like.
Well, I mean,
she's like my soulmate.
Look, I love Donald, but he is being rather irritating in this episode.
I think I felt my edible totem.
This Mrs. Beagle from DuckTales 2017.
I'm gonna break every bone in her body. Or maybe just tie her up. We'll see how it plays out.
Webby just threatened the crazy, thieving old lady.
Yeah, well, she's Ma Beagle, I mean.
Yeah.
She's probably disappeared a few people. I just love how we went from, gee, Uncle Scrooge, you should be nice to the monsters, to, I'm gonna fuck your family. If you fuck with me, you're my family, fucker. How do you think the fight's gonna go down of Donald and Miss Beagle versus the 2 Beagle boys?
Well, seeing as Miss Beagle is kind of like Arnold's Terminator, I'm thinking it's not gonna go down very well for the Beagle boys.
Okay.
Another reason why I love Miss Beagle.
Oh, Miss Beagle's great. I love Miss Beagle in the show. She's awesome.
I'm hoping Donald actually shows a little bit of formidableness.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Beagle boys are sloped, quite large. I'll take the big one. And Donald?
Get off me!
Yeah, I guess he can take care of himself.
You don't know how delighted I was when I saw Donald's K-Groove build, Max, and then he turned into a fucking tornado of rage.
Oh, God.
Started taking out both Beagle boys.
Okay, I like that Donald can actually do something.
I just love that the nephews are the trigger, right? He's overprotecting them. Beagle boys threaten my son, I'll tear their eyelids off.
I mean, I don't think his sister's actually dead.
Della, yeah. No doubt.
I mean, this is Disney.
Yeah.
But something happened. Either she got injured and disappeared, or she betrayed them. Or she was corrupted, Disney.
I know I joke about, Bill Cipher in Star Wars: The Force of Evil. But if Bill Cipher was going to appear in another show, it'd probably be this one.
Yeah, but if he appeared in this, Scrooge would knock him out pretty quick.
Yeah, Bill Cipher, you're not fucking with children anymore. You're fucking with children and their angry, vengeful uncles.
If he got past Webby.
Yeah, true. Well, Bill Cipher, I mean. He is Bill Cipher.
I don't know. I think Dipper and Mabel would go down to
Webby would kill Dipper and Mabel. That's the thing. I've heard people say, Webby's just Mabel. No. There are certain similarities, but Webby is a formidable social outcast.
Ford would want her as his second.
Yeah, Webby in this, she's kind of like Dipper and Mabel together in a way. She's got kind of Dipper's intelligence and awkwardness with Mabel's kind of craziness, but not Mabel's social outgoingness at all.
She's the opposite of Mabel in that way. Mm-hmm. In fact, that might be the Pacifica part of her.
The Pacifica part. I don't see a lot of Pacifica in Webby. I'd like to see some Pacifica in Mabel, if you know what I mean. Hey, shipping.
We gotta talk about it. You get the feeling that Miss Beakley may have been, a mercenary before or something.
I get a little bit of that feeling.
You have a whole file on my mom? Seriously? This is it?
I've been looking into her for years, but there's nothing. No photos, no records, no one even talks about her. One time, a piece of junk mail with her name on it showed up at her door. A day later, Scrooge bought the post office, and I never saw our mailman again.
Maybe he retired?
Bad things happen to people who ask about Della Duck.
Okay, Scrooge did not disappear a mailman, right? Scrooge didn't have someone killed for delivering junk mail for Della Duck to the mansion, right?
No, he bought it so that he would be able to get access to every record they have to try and find her.
Yeah, I figured he didn't kill the mailman.
And then he disappeared them.
Unless he oh my god.
And he was only 1 day from retirement.
In the old DuckTales cartoon, Scrooge and when his few appearances, Donald, would not want to engage with the Beagle Boys or other villains directly, usually. You get the feeling that in this show, well, we've seen it from Donald already and from Scrooge, that if the Beagle Boys tried breaking in, that Scrooge himself would fight them off.
Yeah.
And win.
There would be no indirect way of getting rid of them. It would be a direct competition.
No, it would be how many broken bones do the Beagle Boys suffer?
And it's obvious the Beagle Boys aren't an army this time.
Well, here's the thing. In the old DuckTales cartoon, this is one area where they did have a lot of diverse characters. There are 12 or 13 different Beagle Boys with different names, and every episode featured Beagle Boys had 3 or 4 of them, right? Mm-hmm. They showed us Bouncer, Burger, and Big Time. And Ma Beagle, obviously. But what were some of the other ones?
I couldn't tell you.
There's Bouncer, Burger, Big Time. There's
those were the 3 main ones.
They were the main ones, but there were others. And they all started with B.
I couldn't tell you their names.
Maybe we'll see more. Maybe it's just these 3. Who knows? In 2 lines, they have immediately made Gyro Gearloose far more interesting and likable than his old shitty versions. But in 2 lines, we've established this Gyro Gearloose is a bit of a recluse asshole who really is looking to impress Scrooge and hates people who don't appreciate his genius, which is a way better character than old Gyro Gearloose.
Well, yeah, Scrooge didn't respect the old...
Neither did I. He's an idiot. He was a brilliant genius and that was his only saving grace. He had no common sense, no street smarts, and a stupid voice. It's I invented bubblegum that can breathe in space. Eat my ass, Gyro!
This librarian does not get many visitors.
Is she Magica the Spell?
That'd be interesting.
Okay, Well,
she Batman'd her way out of there.
it could have been, okay, this is a world where magic exists, and it stands to reason that she could have had a smoke bomb on her person.
Yeah.
I do remember my brother telling me that there's a character in this episode that is based off of an old character from an old comic, a kind of weird, crazy librarian. So, probably not Magica, but I mean, look!
Again, she Batmaned her way out. Would it surprise you that the librarian's a ninja?
I mean, Scrooge would employ a ninja librarian.
To protect his history?
He's spending money on magical defense, which, frankly, he probably needs.
Yeah. Well, when he says, do you know how many curses are on my head?
He's not kidding. There are probably a lot of curses on him.
I mean, how many treasures has he collected? Let's go at least one per.
Do you remember the phrase blathering blatherskite?
Yep.
Yep. For those who don't know, blathering blatherskite is what Fenton McQuack, was that his name or something? Who was one of Scrooge's assistants who became Gizmo Duck. He would always say that. And that became, blathering blatherskite became the thing he needed to say to transform into Gizmo Duck.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea who this other girl is at all. Not even her name. And I already ship her with Webby. I call this ship Web Unknown. Dave, you look the way I do when you just bombard me with puns. I was about to say Web Unknown's Battlegrounds, but I realized that doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to call her Plucky.
We're going to learn her name here in like a second.
She also wears shoes.
That's weird! That's weird! Why does she have shoes?
She's a shoe-in.
That's weird. No!
Just blowing your mind, isn't it?
A little bit. A little bit. Okay, now that we know her name is Lena, so let's do a ship name. Weena? Lebby? I kind of like a Lebby. Let's do Lebby.
That ship really quacks me up.
It's close to lesby, so, I mean, it works for the ship. It works on multiple layers, specifically 2. I guess we know there are more than 3 Beagle Boys.
Yeah. Not a good place to be right now.
Why would you crash a Beagle Boy party? Unless you're hankering to beat up some Beagle Boys. I have a horrible feeling my ship is going to end up with Lena being evil.
No.
I mean, I know I deserve that, but fuck you anyway.
News at 11. Water is wet.
Water's wet. The Pope's Catholic. Yoda offers shitty advice. Understood.
The Jedi suck.
The Jedi suck. The Sith, not all evil. Okay, we got our obvious-isms out of the way. I gotcha.
Let's call them what they really are. The Jokers.
They are so Joker-inspired fucking Beagles.
I mean, all they need to do is fast forward about 100 years, do it ultra-modern, and it would be the Jokers from fucking Batman Beyond. Were the seagulls actually trying to take away?
Maybe the seagulls are the ones who took that little girl from Family Matters. Okay, I'll get a whiteboard going, you get some newspaper.
The newspaper won't be the only thing getting shit on it.
I don't know what that means.
I figured as much. The amulet was way too much like Magica Dispels to not be a relative.
You know, I completely forgot during the episode that she had the amulet at the beginning.
I didn't.
And that it started. I don't know why. I was too caught up in the ship. I still ship them. I still ship them. I know it's a hopeless ship in a Disney show to hope for a Yuri ship to actually happen, but I still do. Aunt Magica. Okay. Magica Dispel has a niece and her name is Lena.
Now, there's something also important to that scene. That means Magica's dead. Or sealed away.
We don't know that. That could be a communication type thing.
The sort of summon she had to do there was kind of like a ghost summoning.
I don't think it's conclusive at this point.
Fair enough.
Like, we know Magica is a player. Magica Dispel is a player.
Well,
and she is acting through Lena in kind of a weird Teen Titans Judas contract situation.
Could be a possession.
If it was a possession, why would Lena willingly summon summon magic after to say Aunt Magic I'm in. If it was a possession, she wouldn't need to say anything. In addition, Lena seemed to have a bit of a... maybe it's just me reading into this, but she had a little bit of regret walking away from the manor.
Maybe.
Because obviously, I don't think... Now that we know who Lena is, I don't think for a moment that she's going to be a totally evil character.
No. We're looking at somebody who will do something bad and then help them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that was a good episode.
I really like that. There were a couple moments during this episode where I'm like, okay, where are they going with this episode?
Yes.
Because I was like, I like Webby, absolutely. And I like that she got kind of an episode to herself, no problem. The nephews came back and I was like, what are they contributing to everything here? And then it all came together in the end. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, absolutely. Another winner from DuckTales 2017. And one thing, since we have so many fully realized characters now, they can do episodes where they just don't have all the characters. Mm-hmm. Like the Great Dime Chase, Huey and Donald and Miss Beakley weren't in them at all. Yeah. In this one, none of the adults were there. And that's fine. You don't need to have every character in every episode. We can have episodes that are just Scrooge and Donald, for instance.
I am finding it hilarious that, Webby's been locked up in this mansion her whole life, pretty much. And now that Huey, Dewey, and Louie are around, she's giving her more freedom, and that might not be the best thing. She's getting herself into trouble.
No, it's you can't just leave people cooped up, especially not superhero children.
Okay, you can't leave them cooped up, but maybe just a little bit of supervision needs to be kept on these kids. Just a bit.
I mean, they did let them go out in a rickety-ass canoe into the ocean, so I don't know. Still, though, great episode.
Which also explains how she knew that the Beagle Boys were having a party there. Same circles.
Yeah, this is true. The Beagle Boys and Magic of the Spell often did work together. And so did Magic of the Spell and Flintheart Glomgold on some occasions.
Well, they were all against Scrooge, so they'd team up against him. Mm-hmm. Really, Scrooge didn't have that many allies that weren't employed by him. Really, when you look back at the original show, everybody who helped him was under his pay. He doesn't really have outside allies.
Or family.
Or family.
Yes.
Yes.
And now what this does is, this is funny. Okay, Lena's in, so you're probably going to see Lena in more episodes and in the manor even, because Webby's going to invite her over, obviously. Miss Beakley's mentioned that she was a spy as a joke to Donald. It probably wasn't even a joke. So, what is happening?
Well, it's almost like we're getting... In many ways, this feels like a continuation, almost.
Of Gravity Falls?
No.
Oh, I totally thought you were going to say of Gravity Falls.
No.
This is the next mystery.
Because, I mean, yeah, we still have the same main characters, but, I mean, Beakley's awesome and has grown from the original character that she was.
Well, she's a completely different character. Same with Webby and everybody, even Donald. Even Scrooge. And there's no character here who hasn't been completely reimagined. But in a way that completely makes sense within this new context while paying homage to the old character. Except Webby. They completely discarded her. It was revealed by one of the producers, director of DuckTales, that the first 8 episodes are not airing in the order they intended. They intended to space out, episodes in Duckburg, world-spanning adventures. They intended to space out who gets play, who episodes that focus on a particular character. And they aren't. Disney decided they're just going to air in whatever fucking order they want. The first 8 episodes, anyway. So we get some weird anomalies, like not seeing characters for several episodes at a time.
Yeah,
several back-to-back character episodes, for instance.
Yeah, their intention really was to do single character and then treasure hunting with Scrooge. We haven't seen Scrooge really as a main character for 3 episodes?
Well, they didn't necessarily say treasure hunting with Scrooge. They said stuff that's in Duckburg and stuff that's outside of Duckburg.
Which would require Scrooge.
Not necessarily. But I mean, still though, so we're getting kind of a weird mix in this first 8, but it's fine. Because apparently none of the ongoing serialized story is too affected by this, because the stuff that relies on these episodes happens after. So,
though I've seen little things in episodes that could mess that up. Like, obviously, episodes 1 and 2 together makes complete sense, because that would have been really weird if they'd have cut those two up.
Well, that was all episode 1 in the end. I fixed the numbering on the old episode, so...
So, in episode 1, we actually saw a book with Magica Dispel's locket on it, the picture. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that I'm hoping them being out of order doesn't mess up.
Well, I mean, the Beagle birthday massacre relied on Daytrip of Doom to happen before it.
Yes.
And lo and behold, it did, right? So...
I mean, we're not going to end up with a ladybug situation, where those were obviously, they should have been in certain orders based on certain events happening to certain characters before or after this episode.
Well, there's nothing to say that a season has to play all of its episodes in order. Like, in that second season of Gravity Falls, there were quite a few episodes that probably didn't happen in the order they were aired. But at the same time, some episodes do need to happen in a certain order. Yeah. And yeah, Ladybug violated that rule in an experimental way.
Yes. Based on an actual true novel.
That's awesome. I think all movies based on novels should have that.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, I should point something out. My friend of the show, Poe, and man, we really gotta do that Digimon stuff. Pointed out that Lena is apparently based loosely off of an old character in Disney Comics named Minima Dispel, who was Magica's niece.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I like the new Launchpad so much.
Oh, is it because he's a fucking imbecile like he always has been? Oh gosh, no, please, not a dumb Launchpad.
I was hoping they'd smarten him up a little bit, that's all. Now, in the original, they weren't they more fluffy than Rocky?
I mean, I think so, but who cares? They're the shitty Terra-Firmians they were in one episode. Like, our king needs to be entertained by bouncing. Primitive species. Inferior creatures. The shadow affected Miss Beakley. It touched her hair and she looked back at it.
Yeah, her shadow is
magic, I realize. I'm just saying, I thought this was a means of communication. I didn't think it could affect the real world.
No, because from what I can tell from rewatching that episode, it wasn't just that she was summoning her to talk to her. She was actually physically summoning her.
Hey, Uncle Scrooge, we think maybe you shouldn't rely on the dangerous, lunatic imbecile to be your pilot.
Well, technically he was never a pilot until episode 1. Because even
he should not be operating any vehicle!
Even Scrooge was like, wait, Launchpad's a pilot?
Launchpad McQuack should not be operating anything that requires an IQ of 6 or more.
Wow.
I want to point out that Dijon Mustard, I think, has an IQ of 7.
So technically he can't even operate a lollipop.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him look at one. You look away, you look back, he's on fire.
Oh, loving this. Loving it. Okay.
That was the Terra-Firmians, and they kept the Terra-Firmians a bit of a mystery to the end, and it's even a mystery if they even communicated verbally. Because you'd think they'd be speaking to each other. I think they were just communicating amongst themselves, right? I like this episode. I like the new introduction of the Terra-Firmians. No doubt they're going to play a role later, I think, because Huey formed the connection with them. We got to see more of Lena playing the long game, but still being conflicted as to whether or not she should help. Yeah, well, an all good episode. What did you think of it?
It's nice they're not going to do the whole Rebel Prince bullshit with the Terra-Firmians.
Do you think these Terra-Firmians are going to take all the money from Scrooge McDuck's money bin like they did in the old show?
Probably not.
Correct.
I just like the fact that they were both talking about the same legend among their people.
Yeah, he's the prince of the duck-billed people above. God, they're ugly.
Interesting episode. Launchpad is and continues to be an idiot.
He nearly got them all killed. Typical Launchpad behavior. Folks, we are Carl's Anime Rave. We are the best anime review action show on the internet. You can find us at animerave.xyz.
Tune in next.
Tune in next. Just eliminate time. Time.